And we're going to start seated today. So whether you're sitting in a chair or you are down on the ground, for me, I like sitting up quite nice and tall. So I've actually put both of my cushions underneath me. I think my earrings are clanging against my headphones. So let's just toss those to the side. Great. So I like to sit up nice and high. I've got the cushions underneath me. You can sit on a chair if you're comfortable sitting right on the floor or anything. That's absolutely fine. So just find a comfortable seat for you. You can even be kneeling on your knees if that's something that's more comfortable. The thing that we look for is just to have your pelvis neutral so that your spine can sit nice and tall on top of it. So if you find that you're rounding and having to hold yourself up, then maybe sit up a little bit higher or just adjust to see if you can get yourself nice and tall. Good. So welcome. We are doing a session today that is really focusing on the heart, on lifting our moods. It's also pretty good for the immune system. It's interesting because it was described as an energizing practice. So if you're coming expecting like a hard, heated, move, 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 go, go, go practice, that's not what we're doing. So maybe adjusting expectations. But it's more of a slow, mindful practice, really intentional on things like opening, on the inhales, on grounding, and some on balance, all things that tend to really build energy, but in a really rooted way. And a slow and mindful practice is really, really great for a lot of things. One of them is building interoception, so the ability to really feel what's going on within ourselves, which builds a lot of resilience in our nervous system. So kind of helps us get off that hamster wheel, really. A lot of neuroplasticity, so it helps to kind of rewire your brain. And again, that comes back to things like awareness. And then slow and mindful yoga is also really, really good for inflammation effectively. And that's because it really helps to tap into that relaxation response that we have. So without further chit chat, let's just sit up nice and tall and just feel yourself in the space for a moment. If it's comfortable for you, go ahead and close the eyes. And if the eyes closed doesn't feel quite right today, then you're always welcome to find a nice neutral spot somewhere in front of you and resting the gaze on that spot. And see if you can rest and relax the eyes a little bit. Either way, sitting up nice and tall, find some length through the spine. Maybe draw the belly in slightly, so a bit of engagement around the lower back. You can roll the shoulders, maybe inhaling them up towards the ears and then rolling them down and back a little bit to open the collarbones, open the shoulders. And then lastly, that last little bit of length, you can always draw your chin in a little bit, like someone's trying to poke you in the forehead and you're just moving your head back a little bit. Tends to lengthen out the neck slightly. And then if you're feeling quite rigid at the moment, engaging all those things and sitting up so tall, see if you can find some comfort and some ease in the muscles in the skin, maybe softening through the face, through the shoulders and the chest, all the way down through the belly, just allowing the muscles and the tissues to relax a bit, but keeping that strength right up through the center. And then taking a moment here, just checking in with how you feel coming to the space today. It could be bodily sensations, it could be thoughts, it could be emotions. Remembering that they're all really linked. They tend to really have a theme and come together. Let's take a couple of nice, deep cleansing breaths and see if whatever we came in with, whether it's good, bad, neutral, we can set it aside. So let's inhale in through the nose, focus on filling up the corners, the edges, the front, the back, the lungs, and on the exhales, releasing through the mouth. It could be a big sigh, big release. It could be a soft, slow release, or anywhere in between. Take a few of those. And just see if with every exhale, you're able to let go a little bit. Maybe feel yourself soften into the seat beneath you. Feel the muscles in the skin release a little bit more. Just one or two more breaths like that. And then when you're ready, just coming to a natural rhythm of the breath, let things settle a little bit. Do a little breath exercise before we get going into the movement here. And I want you to try and to come into a nice even breath. And we're going to include evenness or the same count, where we'll be using counts with pauses in between. So we'll be doing an exhale, and then pausing, then doing an inhale, and then pausing. So we're going to start off all together. We'll start with a nice little count of 3. And then I'm going to let you explore after that a little bit to see if you want to increase or decrease that count. And what we're looking for when we're doing any kind of breath work is the ability to keep the breath nice and smooth and long. Just if you get to a point where you feel like you really need to gasp for air, or you really need to breathe out, then you've probably gone a little bit too far. So let's take a nice deep cleansing breath together, inhaling in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And then start the inhale. 1, 2, pausing. 1, 2, exhale. 1, 2, pausing. 1, 2, inhale. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, exhale. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2. Last round together. Inhale. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, exhale. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2. Keep going. As you keep going with the breath, maybe noticing if counts of 2 feel about right for you. Is it comfortable? Is it smooth? Maybe noticing if you feel like you have a little bit more in, maybe going up to a count of 3 if that's the case. And then if you're at a count of 3 and that feels really comfortable, almost too easy, maybe testing out 4, maybe just staying at 3. Whatever count you're at, just let yourself settle in over the next 2 rounds or so. Find your rhythm. And then as you keep going, that evenness between inhales and pauses, exhales and pauses. Maybe imagine that you're making your way around a little box. And each one of those pieces of the breath is one edge of a square. And as you make your way around that square, maybe with each round, just imagine it getting a little bit bigger. Just taking a few more laps around. Let's go for 3 more. And finishing at the end of the pause after your exhale. And then once you've come to the end of that third round, if you've lost count, don't worry. Just come to a finish after the next pause at the end of your exhale. And just allowing yourself to settle back into the natural rhythm of the breath. And as you do so, bring the awareness back to the collarbones, the shoulders, maybe opening them up a little bit. Just imagine spreading the chest and just feel that expansion. We're going to come back to this sensation of opening and expansion throughout the practice. And when you're ready, opening up the eyes. Good. And the first few movements we're going to do seated here are just to explore some of the movements of the spine. Let's just see how the spine is feeling, especially around the chest and the upper back here. So first inhale, just bring the arms to an opening. Maybe puff the chest a little bit, but keep the belly slightly engaged. And then as you exhale, rounding, bringing the hands forward in front of you. So just kind of exploring that flexion and the back arch. As you inhale, reach the arms up, feel everything stretching up, 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 lengthening. And then exhale, let's bring the arms down, plant that left hand, and inhale, reaching, feel through the side of the body. Good, exhale, bring that right hand back down. And then inhale, let's feel through the left side body. Feel the side of the ribs. Good. Exhale, come on down. We're just going to do a few rounds of that. And it's more about just exploring how the back and the spine and the chest feel. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, rounding, come forward. Just noticing what's comfortable here to start and how things feel. Inhale, feeling through that extension, getting nice and tall. Exhale, the hands come on down. Plant the left hand. And inhale, feeling through the right side of the body, reaching up and over. See what feels comfortable. You might not be going this far. Good. Exhale, come on back down. Inhale, other side. You might be reaching up more than over. Just see what feels good for you. Good. Exhale, come on back down. And let's just do one more round. Inhale, opening. Exhale, rounding everything. Maybe you're going a little bit further each time. And then inhale, find the lengthening. Exhale, bringing the arms down. Keep that length through the spine. Good. Inhale, opening up through the right side. Exhale, come on back to center. And then inhale, let's open up through the left side. Exhale, come on back to center. Good. Just take a moment here, let everything settle back to neutral. And then we're gonna move the cushions or your chair, whatever you're sitting on there. I'm gonna put them off to the side. I'll come back to them when we get to the end, to the restorative. And then we're gonna come onto all fours. So if you want to, we're not gonna be there for very long at all, but if you want to bring a little blanket under your knees, I quite like doing that. And then we're gonna bring ourselves so our shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, and spread the fingertips really, really wide when you're doing this. And really press into the floor with the fingertips at the base of the fingers, the pads of the thumb, and that just helps to engage the wrists a little bit here. So just a couple little cat-cows. Again, let's explore the spine through this. Start in a neutral position. As you inhale, let the belly draw down, the gaze comes up. And then as you exhale, rounding the spine, push the floor away. Good. Inhale, let's go to the arch. Start to focus on moving from the lower back, then through the middle and the upper. Open the collarbones, the shoulders, and the neck at the last. And then as you exhale, moving from top to bottom as you round. Couple more here. Inhale, arching from bottom to top. Exhale, rounding from the top to the bottom. And then a couple more rounds here as you inhale and arch. Really feel through the collarbones and the shoulders. And then as you exhale, you've got the option to bring the butt back towards the heels as you round. So you don't have to take it, but you've got that option there. And let's just do 2 more. If you're taking that option, go for it. Really feeling through the spine, explore the spine here. And then last one, inhale, arching from bottom to top. Exhale, rounding, come on back if you're coming back. And then lastly, come on up to neutral. You're gonna tuck the toes and we're gonna come up to a downward dog. You might wanna use your chair for this, and I'll give us a moment to set up if you're using the chair. If you're not, just press the hips up and then start to bring the heels down. If you're comfortable dipping that head down, go ahead and dip it and find your downward dog here. If you're using the chair, maybe just draw that chair over, plant the feet, reach out, and give yourself a moment here just to settle in. Good. Whichever version you're taking, you want to paddle the feet a little bit, maybe bending one knee at a time. So I'm just going to stay with the chair version here. And just moving the knees back and forth, swivel the hips a little bit back and forth. And then just a couple things here to find some length in the spine. Come to the center. You're going to bend that right knee a little bit, press into the left foot and press into the right hand, and then reach that left hip back. So find some length there across the body. And then we're going to switch sides here, bend into that left knee a little bit more than the right. You could have both bent and that's fine. Just which one is bent more. Press into the right heel, press down through that left hand a little bit and then reach the right hip back. Find that length from the left hand down to the back right hip. Good, come on back to neutral. Press both feet down, press into the hands and draw both hip back. Maybe find some length in the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Good. If you're in downward dog all the way down on the floor, start to walk your hands back. If you're on the chair, just start to walk the hands back towards you until you're coming in to a forward fold. So your hands can maybe come down to the shins or you can keep them on the chair there. It's up to you. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Just come on back there for a moment. If you're in the forward fold and you want to grab opposite elbows for a second, go ahead and do that. And then when you're ready, let's release the elbows if you're holding them. And just inhale, lifting towards a halfway lift here. Bring the gaze down to the floor so that your head is a little bit higher. Good, and then we're gonna slowly bend the knees a bit and let's just walk ourselves up. Keep that gaze down for now. Doesn't have to be fully down, but just so the head's not necessarily fully up unless that's not comfortable for you. And then start to bring yourself to standing and keep that gaze a little bit lower. This is just to help with allowing the blood to come back down from the head if you were upside down. And then last but not least, let's inhale, roll the shoulders up. And then as you exhale, bring the gaze up and then squeeze in through the legs and the butt cheeks, just to help really solidify and get us into standing here. Good. And then just take a couple nice breaths here. Just notice how you're feeling in that position. Just noticing any kind of sensations we're already building, working a lot with the inhale and the arches. So if you've got your little support chair, just move it out for a moment here. You're not going to need it right away. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way as well. Then you're going to come to standing, come into a mountain pose, just facing front. We can work with the palms open to the front today. It can help create a nice opening and it brings the shoulder blades more together and spreads the collarbones, or it helps to. And just for a moment here, we're going to take a little check-in here to notice how it feels just to stand in a really subtly different posture. So if we stand with our feet nice and firm, engage the legs, draw the belly in a little bit, and then roll the shoulders and open them up and keep the gaze. Almost imagine there's a horizon, there's a mountain or something off in the distance that you're having a look at. And just notice how that feels and how that intentionality of gazing forward feels. Let's take a breath or two there. And maybe allow the hands to draw into the sides, let the shoulders relax a bit, maybe even soften the knees, and then just look down or just at an angle in front of you. It doesn't have to be down. Just notice how that little shift in posture can make a big difference. Then engage the legs again. Feel your feet on the floor, draw the belly in, open the shoulders, and bring your gaze back up. So in all of the standing bits that we're going to be doing, really focus on bringing that gaze forward in a really strong way. Good. First sequence here, we're going to move through something fairly simple with the arms, but it's all about the intentionality of what we're doing with the breath and energetically. So root the feet down. We're going to inhale about a quarter of the way up, palms facing down. Exhale, stay here and just imagine the feet rooting down and almost like you're pressing through some resistance in the hands. Good. On the inhale, open the palms up to the sky and bring your gaze up, arching through the upper back a little bit. And then as you exhale, drawing everything in, maybe bend the knees a little bit, let your head come down. We're going to move through that at different heights. So inhale, come on up, the palms still facing down. We're parallel now to the floor. Exhale, rooting down. Draw the belly in, shoulders away from the ears. Good. And then inhale, open up the palms, bring the gaze up. And then exhale, drawing everything in, hands come back down to the belly, maybe bend the knees slightly. Good. Inhale, we're going a little bit higher, maybe like a nice Y. Again, exhale, rooting down, shoulders away from the ears, belly drawing in. Feel yourself pressing into something imaginary there. And then inhale, opening everything up. Good. Exhale. Come on back, hands to belly. Last one here. Let's inhale, coming almost all the way up. Exhale, almost like you're pressing away from you this time. And then inhale, turn the palms. And again, open the gaze up to the sky. Good. Exhale, come on back down. And just coming in, hands to belly. Good. One more round here. Inhale, quarter the way. Exhale, rooting down. Inhale, palms up, open. Feel it through the chest, the collarbones, the shoulders. Exhale, come on in. Good. Inhale, halfway up, arms parallel to the ground. Exhale, rooting down. Get taller as you press down with the hands. And then inhale, opening up. Exhale, everything drawing in. Inhale, come to that Y position. Exhale, still pressing down. Feel the shoulders release. The head's getting higher though. And then inhale, opening up. Exhale, come on in. And last one here. Inhale, come on up. Palms are facing out. Exhale, imagine you're pressing away. Belly draws in. Thighs are turned on. Shoulders away from the ears. And then the inhale opens everything up. The collarbones, the shoulders. And exhale, drawing everything in. Nice. Just releasing on back to mountain pose. Maybe take 1 or 2 breaths here. You're always welcome to close your eyes as we check in between things. And just noticing any sensations, maybe up through the collarbones, the chest, even up through the neck and the face a little bit there. Good. Now the next 2 things we're going to do are really going to start to work on rooting in on the grounding that we're going to need for some of the balancing we're doing in a little bit. So we're going to work with chair here, also building a bit of heat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, sitting down into your chair, draw the belly in as you get down there and then bring the hands to the heart center, pressing the palms together. Good. Inhale, start to lean over onto that left foot. You don't have to bring the right up. And as you exhale, feel yourself rooting down into that right foot. Good. Inhale, then come on over. Sorry, that was your left foot onto the right foot. And when you get there at the top of the inhale, then on your exhale, feel yourself rooting in. Good. Inhale, come on back to center. Find evenness between the feet. And then on our exhale, let's just release on over the knees. Keep them as bent as you need. You can release the head if it's comfortable or keep it up. And then inhale, press into the feet, reaching up with the hands. Come on back to standing. Maybe even opening up through the chest again. Take that gaze up. And exhale, come on back down. So we're going to go through a few versions of these. You can stay on the one we just did, or you can build as we go. See what feels comfortable for you. Here we go. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, palms together. Come down to the chest as you sit into your chair. Draw that belly in. Good. Inhale, start to lean on over to the left foot. On the exhale, stay here and root in. You've got the option to take that right foot and just tap it out. Good. Inhale, come on back to center as you shift over to the right foot. Exhale, stay here and root in or tap out to the other side. Good, inhale, weight comes back to both feet, so you find that evenness. And then exhale, release. Release the spine, the legs rest a little bit. And then as you inhale, press into the feet, reaching back up to the sky, maybe even open up the shoulders like the last ones that we were doing. And exhale, release here. Good, we have one more version here if you want to up it one more. Inhale. Exhale, palms together as you sit in. You don't have to sit that low. You can stay up as high or as low as you want to go. Good, inhale, shifting on over to the left. On the exhale, root in. As you do that, tap out, but maybe actually keep the foot off the floor. Good, inhale, back to center. Shift the weight over. Take the exhale, root in as you take the exhale, and maybe bring the foot up to hover, maybe come back to the tap. Good, inhale, come on back to center. Nice and even through both feet, and then releasing on the exhale, coming forward. Good, inhale, pressing into the feet, get yourself up, opening up the shoulders and the chest. And then exhale, coming down. One last round here, pick whichever version felt right for you. If you stayed with the first one all the way through, stay with the first one. Palms together, come on down, press the hands together, draw the belly in. Good, inhale as you shift over to left. Exhale, pick your version. You might stay here. I'm going to stay here. Good, inhale, shift on over to the right. I'm going to do the same here. As I exhale, I stay, but you could be tapping that foot out or raising it. Good, inhale, come on back to center, evenness through both feet, draw the belly in, and exhale, release yourself into that forward fold. Let's stay for an extra breath here. If you need to keep the head up, keep the head up. You can always let the neck get nice and loose and dangle the head. Good, next inhale, press into the feet as you lift yourself up. And then exhale, releasing the hands on down nice and slow. And again, in between this and the next movement, take that little check-in. Feel free to close the eyes and just noticing any little subtle shifts as we make our way through the practice. Maybe also noticing the breath. Are we able to keep it nice and smooth? Has it really picked up the pace maybe? Let's see if you can bring it back to a nice even rhythm. Good. Good, so we've got another little balancing one here. And we're going to start getting into the side body as well. So our starting point is mountain pose again. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up. You can interlace the fingers up here if that's comfortable. You don't have to. Let's take the exhale, bring the shoulders away from the ears and draw the belly in. Now, same as we did before, let's inhale and start to shift the weight onto that left foot. Maybe exhaling, leaning a little, find some length along that left side. And then exhale, stay here for a moment. Good, inhale, come on back to center, find the evenness between both feet. Exhale, release the shoulders away from the ears a little bit. Good, inhale, reaching up, and then see if you can lean on over to that right foot. Good, inhale, get a little taller here. And then maybe exhale, find some more length down that left side. Good, inhale, come on back to center. And then exhale, releasing back down. So the first few here, just finding a little bit of weight into that foot, but focusing on the opening of that side. Inhale, sweep back up, interlace the fingers. You can turn the palms up. Good. Next, inhale, get a little bit taller. Start to shift the weight into that left foot. Good, inhale, reach up a little bit further. This time, as you exhale and lean just a little bit more, maybe you've got the option to tap that foot out. Use it as a little balancing here. Good, and then inhale, get some more length down the side as you reach the foot away from the hands. Good, exhale, release, and inhale, come on to center. Exhale, come on over to the other side. Weight comes into that right foot. Good, exhale, find a little bit of length. Good, and then let's inhale, tap the foot out. Exhale, maybe find a bit more length from the tips of the toes to the hands. Good, and then inhale, come on back to center. And exhale, release. So you can stay with those versions. We can add an extra little bit of balance on that foot. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Again, interlace the fingers. And if you need a little bit of support for the balance here, you can always have your hand on something and just keep one up. So don't feel you need to interlace the fingers and keep them up. Now let's take an inhale, find that length. Your hand is on something. You're going to exhale, still finding, so use this as support, but find that length down the side. Good inhale, maybe start to bring that little kickstand over. And then as you exhale, you've got the option to lift that foot up a little bit, which becomes a strengthening down this right side. Good inhale, take another stretch, maybe touch that toe back down. And then let's exhale, come on back to the center. Maybe you've got something you're hanging onto here. Let's inhale, find the length first. Exhale, start to lean, find the length down there. Good inhale, maybe tap the toe out, use it for that support. Exhale, a little bit more length, reach the toe and the hand away from each other. Good. And then on your next breath, if you want that option, you can lift that foot off and find the balance on that right leg. Good. Place both feet down. Inhale, reach both arms up. And then exhale, let's release. It's a real combination there of lengthening and grounding and balance. We're just kind of getting ready for what's to come as well. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Checking in again, always welcome to close the eyes as we check in. Maybe noticing not just how the body is feeling, but what's kind of going on there with the breath, with the mind, with the emotions. So also trying to calm the mind and slow it down as we go. One more breath. And let's just take a couple nice forward folds here, just to help to release the lower back a little bit. I'm going to turn sideways here. You see how much options you have here to bend your knees. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. They can come in front or bring them to the side if that's more comfortable for you. Let's take a breath here. Exhale the shoulders down away from the ears. Draw the belly in. Keep the belly drawn in and inhale, lengthen again. From that place of length, bend the knees a little bit, hinging at the hips. Nice straight back. And when it can't be straight anymore, then let it release and bend over into a forward fold. Let's stay here for a breath or two. And we're looking just to release the lower back and the back side of the body, not to create a super intense stretch. Good, next inhale, let's come on up into a halfway lift. The hands are going to go to your shins, or your thighs even, and look for length in the back here. And then exhale, releasing again into the forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need. Good, inhale, let's press up into standing, reach the fingertips up. And then exhale, release the arms. One more round like that. I'm going to sweep my arms out to the side this time as I inhale, find the length. We're going to pause here, exhale the shoulders away from the ears. Good, inhale, reaching up, get taller. Keep that belly drawn in. And then as you exhale, start to bend the knees a little bit, hinge at the hips. You can bring the arms down if you like, and folding over the legs. Bend the knees as much as you need so you can get the belly to reach the thighs. Take a breath or two here. We're coming up to that halfway lift on the next inhale. Come on up, find the length in your spine, hands on the shins, around the thighs. Exhale, release again into the forward fold, again, releasing the lower back. So bend those knees as much as you need to find that comfort. And then inhale, pressing yourself up into standing. Let's take an exhale here, shoulders away from the ears, draw the belly in. Take another inhale to find the length from that place of strength. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Imagine you're pressing down through something heavy as the head gets taller, the spine gets taller, and your feet root in a little bit more. Good, take a breath or two here, just settling in. And we're going to start moving towards some variations of Warrior One. Just get yourself ready. Mentality, a little bit of a warrior. The gaze forward is really big in Warrior. So when you're ready, let's set ourselves up. I'm going to back up a little bit here. My feet are hip width apart. I'm turning my right foot out a little bit, so about a 45-degree angle for me, and then stepping forward with my left. Now this is where you might want your chair in front of you for one of the last versions that we're doing. So if you've had to go run and grab your chair, you can come on back to hip width, turn that foot out, step forward. And we're going to test just to see, you might want your feet a little bit wider apart. You might want your stance a little bit longer or shorter. But as you bend that front knee, see if you can get it over your ankle, keeping that back sole of the foot to the ground. And then the shoulders and the chest able to come to the front nice and comfortably. Maybe feeling an opening through that back thigh around the hip, or psoas muscle is there, but no strain on the back knee. So if you need to play around with the angle of that back foot or the width, go ahead and do that. And just finding that comfort first. So we really want to find a stance that we're comfortable in. Good, and then when you're ready, let's bring both legs straight. Good, so we're going to dynamically move in and out of these. As we inhale, I'm going to bend into that front knee and sweep the arms up like that big Y we were doing earlier. And as we're here, we're going to exhale and draw the belly in. And then take another inhale. Feel yourself getting taller and a little bit wider. Really press into that back foot. And then exhale, come on back to standing. Or straightening that front leg, sorry. We're going to go in and out of that. So inhale, bend into the front knee, sweep the arms up, maybe even leaning forward a little bit. Really strong gaze to the front. Exhale, draw the belly in, press into that back foot, maybe even shift the weight back a little. And then as you inhale, reaching up, getting wider, feel yourself getting bigger. Good, exhale, back to the start. Good, few more here. Inhale, come on forward, find that wideness. Exhale, draw the belly in. Good, inhale, taller, wider, but grounding in at the same time. And then exhale, come on back to the start. Couple more, inhale. Come into it, exhale, draw the belly in, feel the feet really root in here. And then from that place of strength, inhale, get taller and wider. Exhale, straighten out again. And last one like this. Inhale, draw the wideness. Feel that big old Y. Exhale, belly in, grounding through the legs, shoulders down away from the ears. And then inhale, feel yourself get taller, wider, reach those hands. Good, exhale, back to the start. Good. Now we're going to come into it and we're going to stay a little bit. And you're going to have the option to add some sound. If you don't want to, that's fine. You're just going to listen to me, basically. So let's inhale, come on into it. Start with the arms nice and wide like we did before. And then bring the arms parallel to the ground with the palms facing up. Now just notice the opening through the collarbones and the shoulders. You do that. If you turn the palms down, it's a real difference. It might not be, but hopefully there's a bit of a difference there. So turn those palms up. If you want to bend the knee a little bit less or a little bit more, that's up to you. Good. On the inhales, we're going to sweep the arms up. And on the exhales, we're going to bring the arms down, bring the palms facing down, and then sweeping them to bring the hands together in front of the chest. We're going to move between those two. So inhaling, arms sweep up. Exhale, arms sweep down. Bring the palms together. And then I'm going to start adding an Om on the way back down. So inhaling up. Feel free to join. You don't have to. Inhale on up. If you don't want to Om, you can try humming. Just a little humming sound there. I'm going to take two more on this side. So I'm going to go back to Oming. Start focusing on really rooting down through the feet as that sound comes out if you're making it. Oh. And last one, inhaling up. Exhaling down. Oh. And then inhale, bring the arms up again, find some length in the spine. And exhale, straighten the leg, come on down. Good, now from here, I'm going to take an inhale and get nice and tall. Exhale, just bend into that front knee. Inhale, start to lean yourself forward, really start to bring that energy into that front foot. You can use the chair if you'd like, but we're going to just start to push ourselves up into Warrior 3. You can keep that toe on the ground. You can keep the hands on the chair if you like, and then see if you can bring the chest parallel to the ground and see if you can bring that back foot up. You can feel free to use that support, or if you want, bring the hands together at the chest. Just taking a few breaths here. And play around with your balance. You've got your chair there if you need it. If you want to challenge it a little bit more, hands out to the side. Or maybe even reaching them up in front of you and reaching the foot and the hands away from each other. Good, take one more breath here, whichever version you're in. And then as you exhale, rebend that front knee, step back with your foot. And let's inhale one last time, open up. Gaze forward, nice and strong. Exhale, release to standing. And then stepping one out of it back to mountain, wherever your mountain is. Just take a few breaths here. Again, if you want to take a couple cleansing breaths even, releasing through the mouth and just noticing sensations through the body. Maybe there's quite a difference between the left and the right. A lot of opening down the right side there. Some strength in the left at the end. Nice. When you're ready, we're going to do the other side. So nothing is a surprise this time. I'll turn that left foot out a little bit. Step the right forward. And again, I'm going to take our time here and find the right stance. It might be really different on this side. Our hips tend to not be terribly similar to each other. Definitely not mine. So find the right width for you. Find the right length. See if you can bend into that front knee, but still keep the sole of the back foot on the ground and be able to ground quite evenly through both soles of the feet there. Good. So once that's nice and comfortable, hands down at the sides. Let's inhale, bend into the front knee, open up nice and wide. Take the exhale to draw the belly in, ground through the feet, and then inhale, let's get taller and wider. Good. Exhale, come on back to the start. We know where we're going with these. Good. Inhale, bending into the front knee, get nice and wide. Exhale, draw the belly in. Inhale, get taller, wider, pressing into those feet. Exhale, release. A few more of these versions. Inhale, really falling into your own rhythm here. Exhale, grounding, shoulders away, belly in. Inhale, taller, wider. Exhale, come on back. Good. Two more here. Inhale, widen. Really ground through the feet there. As you exhale, belly in, shoulders down, ground the feet in, and then inhale from that grounding, find the height and the width. Exhale, release. And then last one here. Inhale into the front knee, open up the arms. Exhale, ground, belly in, shoulders down. Inhale, taller, wider from that place of strength. Gaze is strong in front of you. Exhale, release. Good. Just take one or two breaths here. And then we're going to move into that static position with the legs, but flowing with the arms, and you've got the option to add a little bit of sound there. So bend into that front knee. Let's inhale, bring the arms up parallel, and then open up the palms. So find that opening, draw the belly in a little bit, find the grounding through both feet, and then let's begin. Inhale the arms up. We're going to start the ums and the hums on the first one here. Inhale, get tall. Three more. Maybe humming instead. And last one. If you're using the sound, really feel the vibration down the length of the spine. And then inhale, last one, get nice and tall. Exhale, straighten the front leg, releasing back. Breath or two here. I'm just getting ready to come into the warrior three. Then into that front knee. Maybe bring the hands together. It can be a nice little anchor there. As you start to lean forward, maybe you're using the chair. Plant the hands if you need to. Find that parallel of the upper body. And then see what can happen with that back leg. Maybe you test it a little bit and just come on up. Maybe you've got it up already. And just see where you're at. You can bend that front knee a little bit. Give you a bit more. And again, you can try the hands at the chest. You can try the arms out wide or reach them out in front of you. Whatever version you're in, see if you can find that length from the top of your head to the back foot, even if it's not all the way up. Take one more breath. Whatever version you're in. Let's exhale, bend that front knee. Step on back. Inhale, get nice and tall one last time. And then exhale, release. Step on back to mountain. And again, do a little check-in. So a few nice deep breaths here. Just noticing, you can take a few cleansing breaths if you like. It's very challenging, or it can be quite a challenging sequence. Might have been easy for you, I don't know. Whether it was challenging or easy, somewhere in between. Might be one on one day, one on another. It's more about noticing what it's like and where we are than exactly what it was. Not grasping onto it if it's something that felt amazing, not pushing it away if it's something that was challenging, but certainly not, at least not judging if it was good or bad. Good. So let's take one more nice breath. And then opening up the eyes. And a couple nice little forward folds. So those are asymmetrical poses, really working with the hips, doing different things. So just to even things out, we'll take a few nice, gentle, flowy forward folds. So come into the mountain pose, engaging through the belly, the legs, the shoulders opening, gaze forward, find that gaze. And then let's inhale, sweep the arms up in front or to the side. If you have a preference today. And then exhale, hinging at the hips, bend the knees as much as you need. This is more about getting the hips and the lower back in alignment, not about stretching hamstrings or anything. Inhale, sweep on back up. And exhale, release the hands, come on back to standing. Couple more here, inhale. Exhale, release. Good, inhale, sweeping back up, press into the feet. Reach the fingertips up for the height, and then exhale, release. Last one here. Inhale, sweeping up. Find the length through the spine. Exhale, hips hinging, knees bending as much as they need, releasing over the legs. When you're ready, let's stay down here for a breath or two. Again, keep that head up if you need to. Maybe feel the lower back release a little bit more each time. If your head is hanging, you can let it get nice and heavy. You can even nod it side to side or back and forth, or grab those elbows if you like. And then when you're ready, let's inhale into a halfway lift. Take a breath here as you exhale, draw the belly in. Find some strength there. Feel the legs engage. Inhale again, head reaches away from the hips. Find some length in your spine. And then exhale again into the forward fold. Let yourself slide on down, releasing through the lower back. Good, inhaling one more time into the halfway lift. Good, exhale, stay here. And then bend the knees a little bit. And let's inhale, press into the floor and just bring yourself back up standing. You can leave the arms just dangling. Keep that gaze down for a moment here. And then let's inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Bring the gaze forward and then settle in. Maybe squeeze the butt cheeks again if you find that that gives you a little bit of grounding when you get back up. Good. So that was balancing, opening. And we're now going to start to wind ourselves down, down, down at the end. So we've opened everything up. We're going to keep that energy, but we're going to wrap a little bit of calm and restorative around it, so that we kind of are left in a nicer state at the end. That's an opening energy, but within a package of calm. So we're going to come to the ground. You can have your blanket handy here if you like. But we're just going to start off by coming to sitting. And if it's comfortable here, just get the feet out in front of you somewhere. The soles don't have to be totally on the ground. They can be if you're able to. or they can, they can be up a little bit here. And if it's comfortable for you, you can drape yourself over the knees a little bit here. There's an option. You can bring your hands in between your legs and under and grab opposite shins. That could be a nice way to just kind of lock yourself in here. And if it's comfortable, you can let your head hang a little bit, even rock side to side. But just starting to bring ourselves down to the sitting position. If sitting like this isn't terribly comfortable, you can actually come onto your back and hug your knees for a moment if you want to, just if that's a more accessible position for you. But we just want to release a little bit here and just take a little check-in. So quite intense standing postures, but just taking a moment before we move in any seated position. A couple nice deep breaths here. And when we say deep breaths, it's not, really filling up and feeling like everything is just filling up sharply. It's still long and smooth, but it's really looking for filling up to the corners and the edges in a nice, slow, smooth way. Same with the exhales, emptying in a nice, long, slow, smooth way. Look for evenness. Good, 1 or 2 more breaths. Maybe even finding yourself releasing a little bit more into it with every breath. Good. And then come on back up to sitting. And we're just going to do a few things on the floor here to really get us to start to come on down the other side. We've kind of gone up the mountain. We're just going to come down the other side now. So we're going to sit with our legs a little bit wider. They might be here for you. They might be even wider. You might actually want to get a blanket or even one of your cushions underneath. So again, anytime we're sitting, what we really want to look for is having the hips and the pelvis really nice and stable so that the spine can sit nice and tall in front of it. So I'll give you a moment if you need to stack something underneath your sit bones there, and then find the right width. So you don't really want to feel like you're straining on the inside of the groin here. Just a nice opening feeling. Good, toes are pointing up and you're able to do that. So if they start to cave in, maybe go a little bit narrower. Good, nice and tall through the spine. And we're going to do a few different movements in this position. Hands down at the sides. And we're going to inhale the arms up, find some length in the spine. And the first one's here, we're just going to go side to side. So we're going to exhale. You can bring your hand to your shin or to the floor beside you. Depends where it's comfortable for you, but just see where that is. The inhale brings you back to the center. And then the exhale's over to the other side. So see if you can do the same thing on both sides in terms of where you're putting your hand and what angle you're coming in at. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. And maybe even play around, see how it feels if you're going a little bit more sideways or if you're going a little bit more towards where your legs are. So it's just slightly different angles down the side of the back body here. The inhales are to the center. The exhales are to the sides. You can be going at a different pace than me, so move with your breath. Inhales are length, and then the exhales bring some length into the side body. Good, couple more here. Inhale. Exhale over to the left. If you're with me, if you're not, don't worry, you might be going the other direction. And let's do the last round. You're going to finish up on the right. So if you're at the left at the moment, just take another little beat there and come on, finish on the right. And then exhaling both arms down. Good. Just take a moment there. And then the next bit, we're going to move into a little bit of a twisting motion here. So we're going to inhale the arms up again. But as we exhale, we're going to twist the body over and touch that left hand somewhere inside the right leg. It might be here even, it might be here, and then just opening up the opposite arm. So inhale to the center, and then exhale to the other side. Take the right hand somewhere inside that right leg, left leg, sorry. Good, inhale, center, and then exhale. Just a nice gentle side to side twisting here. Inhales to the center, exhales twisting over. Good, couple more here. The exhales twist you over. So the inhales open you up back at center. And the exhales find a little twist here. Last couple here. You're going to finish off twisting to the right. Good. I'm going to exhale, bring myself back down. Just come on back down when you're ready and when you've finished off on the right. And then we've got one last thing to do here. Now we're actually going to take a twist and stay in it. We're going to get a little bit of movement through our neck as well. And so one of the nice things about doing a twist in this position, or some of the seated ones, is that it really allows us to keep the hips anchored. Normally the hips are a place where we compensate, but this really forces us, or helps us, let's not say force, it helps us to bring that twist into the upper back. So let's inhale the arms up. We're going to take that right hand and just place it beside you or behind you a little bit, somewhere where you can use it to just keep yourself nice and tall. Let's inhale, find some height. And then as you exhale, twisting, it might not be a lot, and just bring that left hand to the outside of that thigh. Now it might be high up or lower, and you might not be that twisted, and that's absolutely fine. We're just going for the feeling of the posture. So if you feel like you're having a big twist already, that's where you are. As you inhale, get a little bit taller, and then exhale, maybe they're just a millimeter or two, or just a feeling of a millimeter. You can bring the gaze back and keep working with the breath. So the inhales get you a little bit taller. The exhales get you a little bit more into the twist. Very subtle. Keep the height in the spine. Good. And then we're going to bring our gaze back to the front shoulder, but staying in that twist. Take an inhale here. Feel yourself getting taller again. And then maybe bring that gaze down towards the floor. We're going to get into the back side of the right side of the neck here. And maybe that's a stretch for you there. Maybe you want to bring your gaze twisted over so that your left ear is towards the left shoulder a little bit more, but just moving the head really gently. See where you can find a place that needs that lengthening. And then when you find it, just stay there for a couple breaths. That right shoulder, almost feeling like it's moving away from the ear, like it's trying to get away from it. And use the exhale to see if you can release a little bit into that stretch. Good, now inhale, just bring your head back up to neutral. Exhale here for a moment. And then inhale, really slowly unraveling yourself back to center. You can place the hands just on your legs or on the floor, just noticing any sensations there. Doing one side so far. And then when you're ready, let's place that left hand beside, behind, wherever is comfortable. Find that height through the spine. Compress into the hand behind you. And then inhale, reaching that right arm up. Exhale, bring the right arm across and find a place that's comfortable for you to hold on to. And I'll get a little bit taller. And then see if you can open the shoulders, the chest a little bit. Maybe bringing the gaze to the side or to the back. And then keep working with the breath. Inhales taller, exhales, a little bit of a twist. Keep working with the breath. Inhale, height, exhale, finding a bit more. Good, now start to bring that gaze over to the front shoulder. And then maybe dropping it down to the floor and exploring here again, just like we did on the other side. And it might be a different angle on this side, but finding if there's any area in the neck that is tight. And then seeing if we can rest that breath into it. So we want to feel like a stretch, but not necessarily like it's going to send tension or anything up into the head. So just really feeling into it. Take one or two more nice, long, smooth breaths. See if you can send that exhale to the place that you're stretching. And then when you're ready, just really gently and slowly lifting the gaze back up and forward. And then on your next inhale, start to let yourself unravel back to the front. Good. A little breath here. And then a little bit of resistance on the inside of the legs. And let's just pull those legs back into the center. And take that little stance that we did before, maybe releasing over. You can cross over and bring the palms to the opposite hips if you like. If it's more comfortable to be on your back and hug the knees in, go ahead and maybe go for that. But just taking this little fold, releasing everything. Good. And then let's come right on to the back. can put that little blanket under your hips. That's comfy for you. I quite like that position. Let your feet rest on the floor for a moment. You can even put them a little bit wider and let the knees rest together. See if you can find somewhere where you can release around the hips, the lower back and the belly a little bit, and just take a few nice, long, smooth breaths. Feel free to close the eyes. Again, noticing any sensations. Good. And then just bring the feet off the floor. We're going to cup the knees with the hands and let them rest nice and heavy in the hands. So if you were to let them go, they would gently release back down to the ground. We're going to do a couple ins and outs here just because we're wide. We're going to, again, get back into neutralizing the hips and lower back. Let's inhale. And then as you exhale, drawing the knees in, you can draw them a little wider if that's more comfortable for you. And then inhale, releasing them. As you do a few rounds of these, as you exhale, see if it's really more your breath than your body bringing them in, more so than your hands doing the pulling. And inhale, same on the release. Almost imagine your breath pushing the legs away. Exhale, draw in, feel the belly draw in. Inhale away. Let's do a couple more here. Exhale in. Inhale away. And last one. Good, now release the feet down to the floor. The legs are together, hands out to the sides. You can have the palms up or down. Down's quite nice because it can give you a little bit of an anchor here. We're gonna do a little twist side to side. You can walk those heels back as far as feels comfortable for you. And we're gonna move both legs together from side to side. Inhale here in the center. See if you can find a little bit of extra length to the spine. And as you exhale, let's start going over to the right. First few here, let's just see and test how far it feels comfortable for us right now. And then inhale to the center, exhale over to the left. So we're going to go side to side. You just start moving in your own rhythm here. The inhales bring you to center. The exhales bring you over to each side. And as you go, just exploring what feels good, how far it feels good to go. Maybe it changes as you do a few more. Keep moving in your own rhythm. Inhales to the middle, exhales to the sides. Using those arms to anchor, the shoulders are staying down. And then as you keep on going, start to focus on the top hip in each twist and maybe feel like it's starting to push the motion over, up and over. So as you exhale, that hip is pushing the motion over. Think of it that way, like you've got a little hand at the back there. Let's just do one more on each side. Finishing off on the left. And then we'll all meet back at center. Now meeting at center here, we're just going to do a little stay in the twist. So you've got a couple options here. You can either keep the legs together and just bring them over to the right, or you can cross that right leg over and then use that. So that'll act like a little extra weight to find some opening in that left hip. If your left hip was already feeling like your legs weren't going all the way down to the ground, I'd stick with the legs just being together. So whatever version you're in, take an inhale, lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, releasing the legs on over to the right, nice and gently until you hit your edge. And then resting in there, keep both shoulders down. And then we're just going to breathe into it. So with every exhale, see if you can release a little bit into the area that you're feeling the opening and the stretch. We'll take one more breath here. And then on the inhale, you're going to engage the belly and then inhale. Come on back up to center. So engaging the belly just helps to protect the lower back a little bit. Uncross the legs. If they're crossed, switch over if you're crossing, or just keep them together if that's more comfortable. Take the inhale to lengthen the spine first, and then exhale in to that twist. Again, finding the edge where that stretch feels like it's stretching, but also there's still some comfort in there. It's not a strain. And then see if you can breathe on into it. So use that exhale. Almost imagine you're breathing into that spot. A couple more breaths. And again, make sure the belly's engaged and that engagement around the waist. And then as you inhale, come on back to center. Nice and strong. If your legs are crossed, uncross them. Hug the knees in again for a second. Maybe a little rock side to side. And then just one or two little apanasanas. The ins and outs are called apanasanas. Inhale in the start position. Exhale, draw the knees in. Again, inhale in the start position. Sorry, inhale to the start position. Exhale, draw the knees in. I don't know why I found that so funny. Good, inhale, knees out again. Exhale, draw them in. Good, and then last but not least, we're gonna do a couple rounds of a dynamic bridge just to really just get that pelvis right back to neutral. So feet hip width apart. Bring the heels in as far as that feels comfortable. Palms facing down beside you. We're going to inhale about a quarter of the way up, so pressing into the feet. Come on up. And then take an exhale here with the bones nice and strong. See if you can release the muscles a little bit. Find some softness around the hips. Maybe take an extra breath here. Use that next exhale to do the same. And then inhale, come a little bit higher, maybe halfway or so. Again, use the exhale here to see if you can find a little bit of softness around the hips. And then inhaling, come to a point where maybe you go straight line from the knees through the hips to the shoulders. On the exhale, again, find that softness. And then next inhale here, if it's comfortable, you're going to sweep the arms up and over. And that might open up the chest a little bit more. It might bring the hips up a little bit more just naturally. Take an exhale here. Inhale, maybe open up slightly more if that's comfortable. And then exhale, releasing everything down. Go nice and slow. See if you can get the hands and the hips to touch at the same time as the breath ends. Good, one more round here. Inhale, maybe about a quarter. Exhale, soften around the hips, the lower back. Good, inhale, maybe about halfway. Again, softening. Still strong in the posture, but find that little bit of ease. Good, inhale a little bit higher, find that straight line if you can get up there. Exhale, find a bit of softness. As you get higher, the softness is a little bit less likely. And then inhale, sweeping the arms. If you're adding that extra little bit of opening. Take one more exhale up here. Again, still softening. Can you let the hips come down a little bit as you soften? And then inhale, last opening, and exhale. Slowly come on down. Again, see if you can get everything to touch at the same time. And then once you touch, see if you can find a bit of release. Really let go into the hips. Nice. Good. One last little hug of the knees. A little side to side. And let's do two last little apanasanas. Let the knees hang into the hands. Take the inhale here. And exhale, draw them in. Just finding that strength and integrity in the lower back, around the hips and the sacrum. Inhale away. Exhale back in. Good, inhale away again. And then just drop the feet to the ground. Take a moment here. Just open up here for a moment. Close the eyes if you like. And just noticing any of the sensations in the body. Maybe any ties to emotions or thoughts. Maybe lack of thoughts. Maybe there's a sense of stillness. And then when you're ready, we're going to set up for a short restorative posture. And you've got a few options. There's two versions I'm going to give you on your back. But if for any reason being on your back doesn't feel quite right, maybe it's too open, or some people feel a heaviness sometimes, then you might want to go on your front. If you are on your back, the two different versions, if you've got a chair or something near you, one version or a sofa is to actually just put your feet up on something. So I'd have something under me. So your feet are a little bit higher. They could be even higher than that if you have something that high. The other version is just simply, if you've got your cushions here, let's bring that cushion nice and close, almost right up to your bum, especially if you've got a nice big cushion like this. And then just let your knees rest over them. You could even put both cushions underneath and let your knees rest over. If you've got that, it helps to release your lower back a little bit and just get the pelvis in a nice little angle. That can help everything relax in this area a little bit more. So those are the two on your back. If you're feeling like being on your front is really calling to you, if you want that sensation of kind of hugging something almost, the options you have on the front, you've got two of them here. One is just simply to come into child's pose. So this will also depend if you're comfortable on your knees, this one. And just laying forward onto your cushions, if you happen to have two, it could be quite nice to just hug underneath. Put your head to one side. About halfway through, if this is the version you're taking, I'm going to just cue you to maybe move your head so that we're even through the neck. And then last but not least, you can sit kind of sideways with your feet stacked if that's comfortable. And this is a twisting one. You can come over forward onto the cushion. So a bit like the child's pose one, but the legs are off to the side. And the same side is the knee. Or it can be off to the other side, which gives you like a little twist and a little opening through the upper back. So if you get into one of those and it feels really comfortable and releasing, this one will also get you to move halfway through. So keep in mind that you'll actually have to adjust your whole body. So I'll give you a moment there. Find the one that you're comfortable in. And then just start to settle yourself. If you need to make any little adjustments, make those adjustments. When you're ready, close your eyes or find a resting place for the gaze if eyes closed isn't the option for you today. And then with every breath, especially those exhales, see if you can explore a little bit the connections that your body has with the supports beneath you, whether you're on your front or your back. Noticing all those little points of connection, maybe moving from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom of the body and just checking in with all those little places that are touching something. And see if you can use your exhales to allow yourself to release a little bit more into the support. See if you can find a bit of softening through the muscles and all of the soft tissues, but also really allowing the bones to rest, allowing everything to rest, to release. As you begin to rest and release into the support beneath you, maybe start to see if there's any part of the breath that draws your attention at the moment. It could be the coolness of the air at the tip of the nostrils, and the warmth at the tip of the nostrils as the air enters and leaves the body. Maybe even feeling the coolness and the warmth through the sinuses, just below the cheeks, maybe all the way down through the back of the throat. So ebb and flow of coolness and warmth. Maybe your awareness is drawn to the ebb and flow around the chest or the belly, maybe the whole torso. Or maybe you can feel the breath through the whole body. Wherever your awareness is resting, as you let yourself release a little bit more into the support. Begin to let yourself simply breathe, simply be. Simply breathe and simply be. And if you can feel a sense of energy and lifting from the practice, maybe letting this time of rest wrap a little cocoon of calm around it. Letting everything rest. Simply breathe and simply be. And if you're in one of the versions that has your head or your body to one side, and taking a few moments here, just letting yourself shift on over to the second side. And again, feeling the support beneath you. Let yourself rest into the support, rest into the breath. And again, simply breathe, simply be. Simply breathe, simply be. Letting go, resting a little bit more, and a little bit more. And maybe start to slowly deepen the breath, extending, lengthening the inhales and the exhales. Maybe even adding a little cleansing breath, releasing out through the mouth. And as you let the awareness and attention come back to the body, maybe wiggle the fingers and the toes. Finding that little bit of movement. Maybe noticing some sounds around you in the space that you're in. And then whatever position you're in, if you're on your back, and begin to draw the knees in, give them a little hug. If you're on your front, just bringing yourself to a similar position, coming to neutral, a bit of a child's pose. You might already be in it. And if you're on your back, just gently rolling over onto your left-hand side. And then whatever position you're in, just slowly start to push yourself up and bring yourself to a seated position. Maybe bringing both cushions underneath you or sitting on a chair if that's more comfortable. But whenever you get there, sitting up nice and tall and closing the eyes again if they've opened up. And just feeling through the spine, the shoulders, the collarbones, the length through the neck, right through the top of the head. And just notice any sensations, maybe noticing any differences from the beginning. And then when you're ready, let's take the left hand and place it over the chest, maybe right over the heart center there. And coming back to our heart, take the right hand, place it over the left hand. And just connecting with any feeling that's there. There's no good or bad, no right or wrong, just noticing what's built up there. And if it's comfortable for you today, maybe taking a moment and just thinking of something that you're grateful for. It could be little, big, anywhere in between. And then another little moment acknowledging whatever that is. It could be imagining a simple thank you, gestures, kind words. Again, anything that feels right for you. And let's bring the left and the right palms together. If you want a little bit of extra heat here, give them a little rub. Placing the palms over the eyes and just holding that position for a moment, keeping the eyes closed for just a few more breaths. One of my favorite quotes. Why do we close our eyes when we pray, cry, kiss, or dream? Because the most beautiful things in life are not seen, but felt by the heart. When you're ready, slowly start to open the eyes under the palms. Maybe start to spread the fingertips a little bit. And as and when you feel ready, lowering the hands back down to the lap. And then taking whatever time you need to just let your awareness just come back to the space, maybe even exploring it a little bit differently. Namaste. Thank you for joining today.